Yeah, greetings, my brothers and sisters. Salam to my brothers and sisters, and to my non-brothers and sisters, as always, the same respect to you, as always. This video is to be very clear, very convincing, not to at all to force you to understand, but of course to explain in very detail part of my life of how I became a Shia Muslim. Now please understand, it's something that I did not ask for, and something I did not pray for, and it's surely something I was not at all needing 10 years ago. But in 1998, of course, is when December of 1998, when I became a Shia Muslim. We have to backtrack for a few there a little bit, because in the 80s, mid-80s, I came out of the closet. I informed my mother that I was gay, and I informed her with the intent that she would accept it and be humble about it, but she wasn't. She said that it was very clear that, yeah, you need to be out in the streets with the dogs. So I was homeless. I did all I could do to survive during that winter time, but I did the best I could to start working early, as I did at Pathmark and at a group home and retail joints, and of course, I don't want to forget to leave out now, of course, going to bars, meeting the same meeting the same people who were like me. So as I went through this journey, as people do, I met some very, very nice people, some great people. And as I went to Canada, as I drove to Canada, I used to stay at the Marriott Hotel in Canada, sometimes in Montreal, and used my Citibank card, which I don't use anymore. But as I stayed in Montreal, I met a group of Iranians, young Iranians, very nice Iranians, young as I was, party goers, fun. But the point was, some of them were gay, some of them were not. But the ones that I did, I joined up with one particular fellow named Ali. I did enjoy his friendship, and of course, as time progressed, I did love this man, with the intent that he was just so kind to others. He wouldn't hurt anyone. He couldn't hurt a soul. He would give his last kidney, as I've said before, in a letter to anyone, because that was his demeanor to all. But as time moved on, I found out that after we had last met in Canada, when I drove home, I had learned the disturbing news that when he was visiting his family back in Iran, he was of course was killed just for being gay. Now, of course, he did have a very feminine way about himself when he walked, talked, so it was very difficult for him to hide the fact of his lifestyle for so many around the world. But indeed, that was very shocking to me, and that was very indeed a very moving part of my life. And of course, I then proceeded with marriage with my wife, and brought children into the world, and that, of course, is a beautiful chapter that I am very blessed for, to have my children who are healthy, who are so kind to others, and who respect all people on all this earth. I could not ask for anything more or anything less from my children. But you know what? It's very interesting because in 1998, as I said before, I was not seeking, asking, praying, or anything of that nature for religion, or particularly Shia Islam. I was radically shaken from my sleep from Allah, and it was so moving and so powerful that I engaged with the dreams of billions of just absolute nightmares. It was so powerful, it was so enormous, that everything that I had saw was so scary, as I recounted, and as I was happy to know that Ali was in heaven, was saved by Allah. I then went through a very difficult time from that evening, early morning hours, all the way to the next day into the evening, because I was fighting with myself that I was not asking for this. And the point is that as I was fighting this, I came to the realization, I said, no, I do not want this in my life. And I then became catatonic. I could not speak to people. I had to be rushed to the emergency room December 24th. The emergency room could not explain it. They were throwing charcoal down my throat. They could not explain how in the world can this young man be conscious but not conscious to speak. It was just so amazing how I was in and out of a realm of like an abyss. It's just so hard to explain with words. But the things that I saw was just so scary. And the things that I saw, so much has happened through the events of time. And I have written no books. I have, of course, not been on YouTube to announce this, and of course I do not make it public for public gain, and it is not my life to go around to change people's evil ways from the last 10 years, because things are so focused. Things have been made very clear. But at that moment, after I accepted Allah, at that time, everything ceased. A gay lifestyle, the attraction, everything stopped. It was truly a miracle. It was a miracle that Allah can do, and that Allah can possess through His most wonders, that Allah can do when choosing to do for so many or for one. That is the power of Allah. So, as I see the world forward, and as I see my fellow brothers and sisters, and all the people, so many make choices. They judge one another before they judge themselves. They dictate to others before they look in the mirror of themselves. Why do they do this? They kill one another before they look in the mirror as themselves. Many men around the world make the rules for themselves and for communities when it is not written from our prophets, peace be upon them all. Why is that? Again, why is that? So, I am very blessed, very blessed, that for these last 10 years, that Allah has come into my life as a Shia Muslim, because we know that Muslims, Shia and Sunni, will not accept the words from each other's masters. We do know that because Shia scholars who tell Sunni scholars they will not listen, and vice versa. Why is that? Why is that? It's a very interesting question, and the answers are even more interesting. Peace to you always.